Hi everyone, Chris here. Welcome to World List. From glow-in-the-dark turtles to venomous mammals. Here are 8 of the strangest and most unique animals in the world. The HAWKSBILL sea turtle. The HAWKSBILL sea turtle is listed by the International Union for Conservation of Nature as critically endangered due to climate change, bycatch, illegal trade, and hunting. This sea turtle can be found almost all over the world, from the Caribbean Sea to the Indo-Pacific Ocean and subspecies in the Atlantic. Since they have to go on land to lay their eggs, their nests can be found in almost 80 countries. In July 2015, researchers from the American Museum of Natural History embarked on an expedition to the Solomon Islands. They took a night dive in search of biofluorescent marine life, only to discover that the HAWKSBILL sea turtle also glows in the dark. While using a special camera equipped with blue lights, the crew spotted the glowing turtle about 65 feet beneath the water's surface. As museum research associate David Gruber put it, the turtle appeared suddenly like a UFO, a bright red and green spaceship. The encounter was brief but really valuable. It was the first discovery of biofluorescence in a reptile in the wild, according to Gruber. When an animal is biofluorescent, it means they absorb light from the sun or another source, and then they radiate it back out, usually in shades of red and green. More research is needed, but scientists speculate that at least some of the red glow is caused by algae on the turtle's shell. Over the past 15 years or so, researchers have discovered numerous biofluorescent marine creatures, including corals, fish, eels, and sharks. Number 7. Pangolin. Now, you may not have heard of the pangolin, but sadly it's the most trafficked animal on Earth. Pangolins are dispersed primarily throughout southern, central, and east Africa, as well as some parts of Asia. They typically dwell in woodlands and savannas that are near water. And despite their appearance, pangolins, who are also known as the Scaly Anteaters, are not actually reptiles. They're covered in armor made of keratin, the same substance as human hair and nails. Pangolins have small heads and broad tails, and while they lack outer ears, they actually have really good hearing. They also don't have any teeth, instead relying on their gizzard-like stomach to grind their food. Numerous factors threaten the pangolin population. Pangolin is a popular type of bushmeat, and these animals are hunted and eaten in many parts of Africa. Here in many countries, they're also used as a source of traditional medicine. There's also a demand for pangolin meat in Vietnam and southern China, where it's considered a delicacy. In certain parts of Asia, some believe that ground-up pangolin scales possess medicinal qualities, such as the ability to cure asthma or cancer, or even to stimulate lactation. Every single year, an estimated 100,000 pangolins are trafficked to China and Vietnam, totaling at least 1 million over the past decade. And despite an international ban on pangolin trade, it remains in high demand. They're even considered commercially extinct in certain ranges. In addition to overhunting, the species is also threatened by ongoing habitat loss that's caused by deforestation. Had you ever heard of the pangolin before? I certainly hadn't. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe if you're new here. Number 6. Yangtze giant soft-shell turtle. With only 3 individuals left, the elusive Yangtze giant soft-shell turtle is considered the world's most critically endangered turtle. Until this year, there were 4 of these turtles left. On April 13th, a 90-year-old female passed away in a zoo in Suzhou, China. She died shortly after the zoo staff attempted to artificially inseminate her. There was supposedly no complications during the procedure, but she struggled to come out of the anesthesia. For years, scientists tried unsuccessfully to breed her with the zoo's other Yangtze giant soft-shell turtle, who is still alive and is actually around 100 years old. The other 2 remaining specimens live in Vietnam in separate pods, and scientists are unsure if they'd be able to artificially inseminate or not just to keep the species going. Like many others, this once abundant species fell victim to overfishing, hunting, and the destruction of its habitat. Conservationists aren't ready to give up on this turtle just yet, though. Man Wang, director of the China division of the Wildlife Conservation Society and a National Geographic explorer, is devoted to saving the species. He hopes to discover a female turtle and breed it before what little time is left has run out. Number 5. Glass frogs. Glass frogs are a group of largely arboreal tree frogs found in parts of Central and South America. And you'll only need one glance at a glass frog to explain its name. Several of its organs are visible through its transparent underbelly. A new species of glass frog was discovered in Ecuador in 2017. Unlike other glass frog species, its heart is exposed by its see-through skin, which extends over its chest. And a completely exposed heart is really unusual, even though all frogs in this genus have completely transparent undersides. Until this most recent discovery, scientists had only found 2 other species of glass frog with visible hearts. Researchers believe that more glass frog species will be discovered in the region. That is, if the amphibian group can withstand the threats caused to them by human activity, including the potential pollution of the water by oil extraction and the possibility of newly constructed roads dividing and isolating frog populations. Number 4. Axolotl. The axolotl is a carnivorous salamander and hails exclusively from the lake complex of Xochimilco near Mexico City. This species is unique because it retains many of its larval features throughout adulthood, a trait known as Neoteny. Its tadpole-like dorsal fin, which runs almost the length of its body, is an example of Neoteny. Another example of this rare trait is the feathery external gills that protrude from the back of the axolotl's wide head. Unlike most other salamanders, axolotls live permanently in the water, with the very rare exception of one that reaches maturity and relocates to land. Axolotls grow up to a foot long, but their average length is about half a foot, and they live up to 15 years. They're typically black or mottled brown, but there are albino and white varieties. This species is considered critically endangered. Much of the Xochimilco lake complex that the axolotl calls home has been drained and contaminated due to the demands of nearby Mexico City, and axolotl populations are steadily declining. Their numbers are further threatened because axolotl meat is considered a delicacy in Mexico, and they're very popular in the aquarium trade. Many people actually have them as pets, although hopefully it's from a domestic breeder and not from a lake in Mexico. Number 3. Sun bear. Sun bears are found throughout Asia, from southern China to eastern India, and as far south as Indonesia. They're named after the golden or white patch on their chest, which represents a rising sun according to legend. The sun bear is the smallest of the bear species, reaching only about half the size of an American black bear. An adult sun bear is typically 4 to 5 feet long and weighs between 60 and 150 pounds, with males being slightly larger than females on average. Gathering conservation data on this species is really difficult due to their shy personalities and remote habitats. However, it is known that they're heavily poached and that their habitat is being rapidly destroyed by deforestation. Additionally, females are often killed so their cubs can be stolen and raised as pets, and farmers often kill sun bears that wander onto their property just to prevent them from eating their crops. Number 2. Saiga antelope. The saiga is a small, critically endangered species of antelope, and it's about the size of a goat. It's one of the most ancient mammals on the planet and has survived millennia of extremely harsh weather. Until the fall of the Soviet Union, the saiga population throughout Europe was well managed despite being commonly hunted. When the Soviet Union fell, though, people began hunting saiga even more due to widespread unemployment and poverty. It was hunted for both food and for trade. The problem only worsened when China opened their border to trade. There's a large demand for saiga horn in China due to its purported uses in traditional medicine. Global saiga populations have dropped by 95% in the past 15 years alone. In 2001, the saiga was added to the IUCN's Red List as critically endangered. And in 2015, around 200,000 saigas died over just a few days. Female saigas gathered in huge numbers at the remote steppes of central Kazakhstan to give birth, which is an annual practice among the species. By gathering, the saiga antelope increased the chances of their newborns by swamping their predator, the wolf, with an abundance of food. At the time, the females were under immense physiological stress and were therefore more prone to disease and birth-related mortality, as well as the ill effects of the weather. And as they gathered, the females became weak and uncoordinated, and they began dying rapidly. The calves began to die next, and after a few days it appeared as if every animal had lost their life. After the tragedy, a worldwide search for answers ensued, and scientists determined that the Saigas died from an infection caused by opportunistic bacteria that's found naturally in the respiratory tract. However, they don't really know why the bacteria turned on their hosts. And if you factor in climate change, experts predict an increase in tragic events like this. Number 1. Platypus. Native to Australia, the platypus is one of the world's few and most venomous mammals. And it's also known for its strange appearance, which can be described as a combination between a duck and a beaver. When explorers first saw a specimen, they thought it was a hoax. The platypus also lays eggs, an extremely rare trait amongst mammals. And it feeds on the bottom of freshwater rivers and wetlands it tends to inhabit, hunting for worms, insects, and shellfish. The animal's tail and webbed feet are ideal for navigating effectively through the water. Platypus do not have teeth. They rely on nearby bits of gravel to help them mash up their food, and their eggs are laid near the water's edge in an underground burrow and hatch after about 10 days. Babies nurse from their mother for around 4 months before foraging out on their own. The platypus is so revered by its native Australia, the Commonwealth features the animal on their 20-cent coin. Thanks for watching. Which animal on this list was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. And make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you'd like to learn more about endangered species. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.